We all know about the glitz and glamour of celebrity life, fast cars, red carpets, and the adoration of millions. But what happens when the fast cars become too fast and the spotlight turns into a glaring searchlight on a twisted wreck? What does it say about the fragility of life, even for those who seem invincible? Stick around and find out as we delve into the 10 celebrities who wrecked their cars and lived to tell the tale. Or did they? The year was 1984, and Vince Neil, the lead vocalist of the glam metal band Motley Crue, was living life in the fast lane. On a fateful day, Neil decided to make a quick trip to a liquor store near his Redondo Beach home in California. The vehicle of choice? A red De Tomaso Pantera, a mid-engine V8 sports car that was as flashy as the rock star himself. But what started as a simple errand turned into a life-altering tragedy. Neil, who was intoxicated at the time, lost control of the Pantera and collided head-on with an oncoming Volkswagen. While Neil escaped with minor injuries, his passenger, Nicholas Razzle Dingley, the drummer of the Finnish band Hanoi Rocks, wasn't so lucky. Dingley lost his life in the crash, and the couple in the Volkswagen suffered severe injuries. The incident led to Neil serving 15 days in jail and paying a staggering $2.6 million in restitution. In a 2015 interview, Neil described the financial penalty as messed up, but the emotional toll was undoubtedly much higher. While Vince Neil's De Tomaso Pantera crash was a shocking incident, Rowan Atkinson didn't just crash his McLaren once. The man behind the iconic character Mr. Bean, who also happens to have a love affair with cars. He owned a McLaren F1, a car that's as British as he is, and one that he crashed not once but twice. The first accident was a minor fender bender with a small city car. The car was repaired, and Atkinson continued to drive it for another 12 years. Then came the second accident, a more serious one that resulted in the car catching fire. The repairs took a year, but what's astonishing is that Atkinson later sold the car for a staggering £8 million, making a £7 million profit. It's as if the car had 9 lives, much like the characters Atkinson often portrays. However, Lisa wasn't so lucky, unfortunately. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, a member of the best-selling American girl group TLC, was known for her fiery personality and unique rapping style. In 2002, she found herself navigating the winding roads of Honduras in a rented Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Attempting to dodge a slow-moving truck and an oncoming car, Lopez lost control. The SUV rolled multiple times, hitting 2 trees before coming to a halt. Lopez, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was killed instantly, while her 5 companions survived. The incident was even captured on videotape by one of the passengers, making it one of the most documented celebrity car accidents. Moving on to someone who is also documented a lot but still alive to tell the tale. Leonardo DiCaprio, the Hollywood A-lister known for his roles in blockbuster films like Titanic and Inception, had a close call in 2009. While driving in Los Angeles, DiCaprio's car was involved in a minor collision. Although no one was seriously injured, the incident served as a wake-up call for the actor. It's easy to forget that even those who play invincible characters on screen are not immune to real-life dangers. Moving on to the story of James Dean, who wasn't so lucky. James Dean, the iconic actor and heartthrob of the 1950s, had a passion for auto racing. On a fateful day in 1955, Dean decided to drive his new Porsche 550 Spyder to a race in Salinas, California. Ignoring advice to tow the car, Dean was behind the wheel, speeding at 85 miles per hour when disaster struck. Attempting to dodge an oncoming Ford Tudor, Dean's Porsche collided almost head-on, sending the car cartwheeling into a gully. Dean never regained consciousness and died on the spot. The accident became a cultural phenomenon, adding to Dean's already legendary status. His love for speed and his untimely death became the subject of songs, documentaries, and academic studies. The Porsche 550 Spyder he was driving became infamous as the car that killed James Dean, and replicas of the car are still made today. However, someone who is still able to tell his tale is Kevin Hart. Comedian Kevin Hart had a near-death experience in 2019 when his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda veered off the road in Malibu Hills, crashing through a wooden fence before plunging into a gully. Hart suffered severe back injuries and had to undergo surgery. The accident was a wake-up call for the comedian, who later expressed his newfound appreciation for life in an emotional Instagram video. We're going back in time, way before Instagram was a thing. The world was shocked when news broke that Diana, Princess of Wales, had died in a car crash in a Paris tunnel in 1997. Diana was in a Mercedes-Benz S280 with her lover Dodi Fayed and their driver Henri Paul. Investigations concluded that Paul's drunkenness contributed to the crash, but conspiracy theories have swirled around Diana's death ever since. Claims of criminal conspiracy, fueled by Fayed's billionaire father, have pointed fingers at various national security services and even Diana's former father-in-law. Moving on to 2014, we have another comedian who was lucky enough to be able to tell his story. Comedian Tracy Morgan had a life-changing experience in 2014 when his limo bus was rear-ended by a Walmart truck on the New Jersey Turnpike. The crash was devastating. Morgan suffered multiple broken bones and was in a coma for 2 weeks. His friend and fellow comedian James McNair lost his life in the accident. The Walmart truck driver, who had been awake for more than 28 hours, was charged with vehicular homicide and assault by auto. Morgan's recovery was long and arduous, both physically and emotionally. The accident had a profound impact on his life and career. He had to learn to walk again and went through extensive physical therapy. The incident also led to a lawsuit against Walmart, which was eventually settled for an undisclosed amount. But the emotional scars remain. Moving on to one of the most successful football players on earth, Ronaldo. In 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo's love for speed met a harsh reality check. Just 2 days after acquiring his Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorano, the striker found himself staring at its mangled remains. The setting? A tunnel where the speed limit was a mere 60 miles per hour. Ronaldo walked away unscathed, attributing the crash to an oily, slippery road. However, authorities had their eyebrows raised, suspecting that the soccer icon might have been pushing the speedometer a bit too far. What's jaw-dropping is the aftermath. A $250,000 Ferrari with a shattered windscreen, a torn-off wing mirror, and wheels that look like they've been through a war zone. Ronaldo passed the breath test, eliminating DUI suspicions. But the incident left many wondering, how fast was he really going? And now to our last story, which has impacted car safety for the foreseeable future. Jane Mansfield, who rose to fame in the late 1950s, met a tragic end in 1967 while driving from Biloxi, Mississippi to New Orleans in a 1966 Buick Electra 225. Mansfield, along with her lover and their driver, was following a tractor-trailer that had slowed down behind a truck spraying mosquito fogger. The truck was obscured by a mist of insecticide, making it nearly invisible to the following vehicles. Unaware of the looming danger, the Buick, driven at high speed, plowed into the back of the tractor-trailer, killing Mansfield, her lover, and the driver instantly. Miraculously, Mansfield's 3 children, who were in the back seat, survived the horrific crash. The accident led to the mandatory installation of underride guards on tractor-trailers, which are still known as Mansfield bars to this day. Mansfield's untimely death at the age of 34 shocked the world and ended a career that was as controversial as it was glamorous. Her tragic end also led to significant changes in vehicle safety regulations, but at a cost that was far too high. So, are you driving cautiously, aware of the lives that intersect with yours? Or are you speeding towards an uncertain future, fueled by the intoxicating adrenaline? Remember, the road of life is unpredictable, and sometimes the only difference between a close call and a headline is a single moment. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you next time.